What's up, guys? This is Chai at Unset Inc. on Instagram. We are here today for another episode with the gals. Today we have JayC and the one and only Madi, aka Lil Guts. And we're just gonna chill. We're gonna have some conversations, so tune in. What's up, guys? How's it going?
The weather. Let's talk about it. I feel like, what are some topics that you guys feel like today should be discussed about the industry or tattooing or experiences with being a tattooer or being the one being tattooed? Where we at? What's in the pile today?
What's in the pile today?
What's the tea?
Well, we gotta have just a box with ideas, and we just pull
like
it.
a little
Okay,
question
pretend
mark.
there's a box, right? And then pull for it. What's the first thing that comes to mind?
There was nothing.
Wow.
Bridget told me I didn't have
Very
enough coffee
genuine
yet.
answer. What's in there? Nothing. I'm all steam. All right, let's start with the conversation of your experiences getting into this industry.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like that's solid, right?
Yeah.
Okay, like let's start with you, champ.
With me.
Hell yeah.
What kind of experiences are we talking? Just like how I got into the industry?
Yeah, what were some positives getting into it, starting, and what were maybe some not so great things that like you struggled with, which you wouldn't want another apprentice or someone who's trying to get in
to experience.
to experience? Yes.
So yeah, here's my story, man.
I feel
Yeah.
like this is a great conversation to have today because of the potential that might be coming into the shop. So I feel like this is a really good conversation.
Exactly.
I got you. Look at that.
Like,
Full circle.
like I said, everyone is gonna have a different story of how they come in to start their tattoo career, and I think that starting right is gonna make such a huge impact. My experience might be a little bit different than anyone else's. I started out by watching Kat Von D and Miami Ink and being heavily interested in it at a young age, and then realizing, hey, it's kind of hard to get an apprenticeship. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna focus on my art. I'm not even gonna push yet for an apprenticeship, but I will start getting tattoos, start meeting these artists, and kind of get my feet wet to get into the industry. So about 6 years ago, I just was getting tattooed by a person, and we just kind of clicked, and I showed him my portfolio, and what do you know, he just offered me the apprenticeship. So maybe it was meant to be, maybe it was chance, but
Right place, right time.
Manifestation.
yeah, and
I really in your pocket.
I really didn't know what I was getting into. You never know. You don't go into it and hear about, hey, you gotta pay your taxes at the end of the year, and through your company, as an independent contractor, your retirement is not set up for you like any other company might be. You gotta do this all on your own. So, the first couple of years, I just was focusing on my art, and like I said, my experience was different. I was at kind of a street shop. They just wanted me to start right away, so I did.
Yeah, absolutely.
I started tattooing right away.
The next day, I was tattooing.
Yeah,
And just like that, I was tattooing.
It was the second day, and he was like, "Here, just do a little tattoo on me," and it went pretty good. And then from there, I just kind of did a little more practice, and then was working on friends, a couple family members, and really got pushed into actual tattooing really quick.
Yeah.
With that also comes, hey, you don't know exactly what you're doing. That could be kind of the negative part of the experience, is kind of that fear and learning as you go.
Yeah.
But that's not even very negative. you know? So I think that overall, it's been very positive, and it's been a long quick 6 years.
Yeah. What do you think you would have done differently, you know, being that there's talk of having an apprentice at Less Tattoos, if you reflect back on the beginning of your career and kind of how things started, what would you want to do different for somebody new coming into the industry?
I wouldn't start them on their second day of
Absolutely.
tattooing. You know, I mean, coming into a shop full of positivity, women supporting each other, I would have loved to start out here, honestly, but
Same.
I started out at a shop that was just a street shop. You know, they were like, just, hey man, just bring some money in and it's good. And it didn't really have the, like, hey, you gotta be good at your artwork, or hey, you need to really just focus and hone in on your style first before you would pick up your machine. It was more so, hey, make me some money. So let's, you know, the best way I would think you could start is, you know, really finding your style first. Really honing in and learning, you know, there's a technical skill of tattooing, really honing in on that after you got the artwork part down. Because there are two distinct styles, and you know, you probably shouldn't just rush right into it. You should probably,
absolutely.
It takes time to curate. It's like wine, it has to, it takes some time to set in.
Like kind of ferment.
You gotta ferment
totally
your
agree.
apprentice.
You gotta marinate them.
And they'd be like, hey man, you're gonna have to pay all this back in taxes later on this year.
You'll figure it out.
I can do it, you can do it. Everybody does that. Don't worry, everything's fine. But yeah, I feel that. I'm glad that I'm glad you got the experience that you did. You know, like you always hear like sometimes like horror stories of apprenticeships. And like,
I got a couple horror stories. You know, everyone's.
I made a couple.
I got a few in my back pocket.
We all have crazy apprenticeship stories, I feel like.
Yeah.
And hey, if we could bring someone in and raise them in a, like I said, a stable environment. Like, we want to start you off right. Like for me, I know I was tattooing for about 6 months, like right when I started, and it was just me and the shop owner, and he was like, hey, you know, like what you're doing is not cutting it. Like, you need to take a break. And so then I took a break for 6 months. So I was tattooing 6 months, not tattooing 6 months. Not very consistent at all. So I really think that like maybe I kind of wasted some time at the beginning. But now I know better from it. So now I have the experience to help others who are first getting into this.
Yeah, I feel like it's a lot less about greed, you know, when you have a shop like this, or a business that runs itself the way that Less Tattoos does, I feel like it doesn't come from a place of greed.
Exactly.
I think the intention is like more so aimed towards longevity. Like, what is this person's career going to look like in 5 to 7 years, or even in 2 to 3 years? You know, like how are we going to be consistent? How are we going to come from a place of like genuine intention rather than a place of like selfishness and I don't know, I guess like
it's not just a business.
Right.
Some shops are just a business, but you know, like intent is the big word. Like when we bring in an apprentice, what is their intent? What do they want to gain from this?
Exactly.
Not only what do they want to gain, what do they want to give to others? Like that's the most important part, I feel like.
I agree. I can agree more.
You know what? I was always thinking as an apprentice as like, you know, how we are going to teach them. And I was like, oh, how are we going to teach this person like the best that we can? But I didn't even think about like, oh, but what are their intentions coming in? I just feel like I got like, I was so worried about like, what are we gonna like, how are we gonna like train them to be like the best? And like, you know, because like, you know, like we want to make sure that you're being loved and like, you know, you're being nurtured, but you're also still being like guided in a direction that is also going to be like beneficial to you and your artist career, because like even I don't know about
and
you
when
guys.
you're starting out, it's like we really I would hate to start out again as an apprentice with the pressure on me that I just need to make money for this business. you know, you don't want to start out that way.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. Yeah.